Hello. So in this video we will see how we can use the external ID fields. First we will see how can we use external ID for inserting a parent and child together. So we will create an instance of account. We'll give it name ACC. I already have created a field named external ID, which is an account, and it is a unique external ID field. For now it is a string field, and we will be giving it a value, say SFDCPi 1111. When using external field, we need to pass only the external ID field in the instance if we are using this record to be a reference to the child object's lookup field. So if you try passing any other parameter here, say name equals to SFDCPi, and if we use this field for the reference, we will get an error. I will show you once so you can see. On opposite record, we need stage and close date, which are the mandatory fields. So we will be populating name, opportunity stage name, and opportunity close date. So name will be count OPP. Let stage name be prospecting only. And we will keep the close date as today itself. And now we will populate the reference. There is field on opportunity which contains the ID of the account, and the field is account ID. But as we are using the reference to the record itself and not the ID, so we will use the account field, not the field name but the object name itself. So it will be opportunity.account, and we will populate it as account ACC. And if we try to insert the opportunity, we will get an error, which you can see. So here is an error. We cannot use more than one field provided in an external foreign key reference in an entity. So we cannot do this if we are using the instance of the account as a reference in the lookup field. So what we will need to do is we will need to create one more instance of the same and use that instance for the reference purpose. We will name it ref, and we will only have the external ID on it. So we will be using this reference here. And to insert both at the same time, we can do two different things. We can create a list of S object and add both the records to the list and then make a insert operation, or else we can use the database class. If we need the IDs for the records, we can use save result. You can give any name say result. As we have two records, we will need a list of database.save results. So it will be something like database.insert insert new list of S objects, and here we will add our two instances. One is for account and other is for opportunity. So if I now execute this, purpose we will debug to verify the IDs, if the records are inserted in the system or not. System debug. For this also, if you directly debug the account, you will get ID in the debug, and same for opportunity also. But as we are using the database.result, we will debug the result itself. If you need to verify if the ID counts, you can use this also. So this will be account plus ACC and similarly for opportunity. So now if we will check the debug, we'll get the ID of the records itself. So here you can see result, we haven't got any error, and here is the ID for the record. And similarly, when we debug the account, we are getting the ID here. This, and similarly for the opportunity also. To verify, we will use this ID and check in our org. So as this is object, account object only, I can paste the ID here, or I can paste the ID after the instance of my org. So is the name SFDCPi. This is the external ID we populated, and on the same account we have one opportunity where the opportunity name is SFDC account. So this is how we can create a child, the parent and child together. Similarly, we will check one for a custom object. I have two custom objects in my org which are named custom object 1 and custom object 2. Custom object 1 is parent and custom object 2 is the child. So similar to account and opportunity, I have one field on the custom object 1 which is external ID. Custom object 1, so C equals to, we will be doing this in a similar manner, but just there will be a change in this field where we are referencing the account or the lookup. So this will say custom 1 . Again we will need two instance of parent. It will be external underscore ID underscore C. Again we will give some ID specify 2. Similar manner we will have one more instance of the custom object 1. We will say it to be custom ref, you populate the name, custom one, and now we will create the custom object to record. Custom object to underscore c, custom to equals to new custom object 2. So here also we will populate name and the reference, as these are the two mandatory fields, as the master lookup is always mandatory if we have a child record to be inserted and the child has a master detail relationship on it. So it will be like custom2 dot name equals, say anything, we will populate SFDCPi custom2, and now when we are populating the reference, whenever we create a master detail or relationship, the field will itself be named as the object name, and whenever we are passing the ID, we will be passing the ID to custom field. But whenever we are using a reference of the record, we will use the record name and underscore r instead of underscore c. So this indicates that we are passing the reference to the record and not the ID. So we'll use this custom one ref here. Now again we will do the insert operation on both the records. So the first will be custom one, where we have populated the name, and second will be custom 2. Yes, now we will check the records are inserted. So here you can see success is true and we have got the ID. Now we will check in our org. So this is the parent record, custom object 1, and for this we have populated a custom object 2 record. Here you can see that we have also got the reference. So this was how we can use the external ID to insert a parent or child together, or if we have a parent, we can insert a child using, say on the custom object only we will try the inserting one more record, as we already have a record in our org with this ID SFDCPi 2. So we can use this, and now we won't be needing this. We will name it custom object 2 record 2, and again we will use the insert custom 2, because we only need to insert one, and we will debug the same. So this is how we can use the external ID field to get the reference of the record which we already have in our org, and can use it to create a child and populate the reference on the child. So we didn't receive any error, and we got the record ID also. On the same record, if we check related list, we will get 2 records now. Sorry, on another object, we need to check on the custom object one. So here you can see that there are 2 records, the one which we inserted with the parent itself and the one which we inserted now. We can also use the external ID fields for upserting, like if we need to do any update on this record which has external ID. So without querying the record, we can make changes if we have any particular format for the external ID. Say if you are getting the data from any external source and you are storing the ID of that external record in the external ID at your Salesforce org, then you can use that external record ID as the ID for your SFDC record. So what you can do is you can just create an instance. You can just create an instance as we created. Check custom reference 1, and here we will update the name itself. So initially the name is SFDC custom 1, and we will change it to say Salesforce Upsert. So what we need to do is we will do the upsert operation, and in upsert we will provide the external ID to be checked as the unique field instead of the SFDC ID. So when we pass this value with the upsert operation, Salesforce backend checks the external ID as the unique identifier instead of the SFDC ID. So when we do this, it will update the record if it is there, or will insert a record if it is not there. So as you can see, the name is changed, Salesforce Upsert. So this is how we can use the external ID field, and if you want to create any, you can go to the setup, object manager, create a field of your choice. You can have any data type, date, number, text. So we have already seen text field, so we will see one number field, or you can also have auto number. And here are the attributes which needs to be set. Only external ID, if you set only external ID as true, then it will be like you can have a number of records with the same external ID, and sometimes it will make difficult to get a record or update a particular record. So what you need to do is you also make this field as unique if it is a text field. In case of number, it might be possible that the combination of the numbers is different for all the records if they are coming from an external source, and the field is restricted to be edited by the user. These are the best practices which you can follow, making the field unique whenever you are making field as external ID. For more such knowledgeable videos, you can follow my channel and also can follow me on Instagram. Links are in the description, and I will be also providing some blogs and SFDC guide, SFDC developer guide references in the description itself. Thank you.